Hi there, Jonny here from JonnyLipshamStudios.co.uk, and in today's video we are going to be looking at, and in fact over the next several videos, we are going to be looking at the note effects that come with Studio One Professional. And there are several. There's the arpeggiator, the chorder, input filter, and repeater. And today we're going to be looking at this guy here, the arpeggiator. The arpeggiator is a very cool, handy little tool. There is so many things you can do with this, and it's really useful for if you are wanting to create keyboard parts or faked guitar parts. I particularly find this useful for creating mocked up rhythm guitar parts, which I can then hand over to a real guitar player who can play a much better guitar part than I could ever dream of. But also if you're not really a great keyboard player, but you want to give a keyboard player an idea of the pattern that you want them to play chord-wise or melody-wise, you can do that with this. Now, you have several different controls here. So you have this big knob here, and this allows you to set the different note values. So at the moment it's set to 16ths, but you can set this to a whole bunch of different values, including dotted whole notes, which I don't think anybody would ever want to use. And all the way through to 64th note triplets, again, which I don't think anybody would ever really have a need to use. So let's set this back to 16ths. And there are a bunch of presets here that all have different rhythmic patterns, and you can check those out at your own leisure. And then there's this default one, which is all zeroed out, and basically you can draw in your own patterns in this version here. Or you can take one that exists and you can adjust it. So if you decide this one here is too loud, you can tuck it down, or if you decide it's too long, you can make it shorter. There is also this swing feature here, which adds a sense of rhythmic swing to a particular pattern. So if you're working with like a 16th note shuffle thing, then you'll want to engage this swing control here, as well as having it set to 16ths. But if you're working in straight 16th notes, like a funk thing or a samba or something like that, then you would set this to 0 because you don't want any swing. Unless you want it to have just a little bit of a lilt, in which case you can open this up just a fraction. And then you have a gate control. Gate control adjusts the length of these notes here, these sounds. So if I adjust it one way or the other, it makes the note shorter or longer, depending upon what it is you have. So you've got some control over how much these overlap over each other. So let's go back to this straight one here. Now this one I already know is going to be too loud, so I'm going to tuck this in. And then you've got these controls here. So you've got play mode going up, going down, up and down, down and up, and then random, which is this one here. And then this one says from input. So depending upon which notes you play first on the keyboard is what you'll get there. And then chord mode. And this is great if you want to do a guitar part, and you can kind of voice the chords on a keyboard like this. Now at the moment, as you can see, the hold button's engaged. The hold button here is great if you want to sustain a chord, but if you don't want to do that, then just turn it off. All right, and then this one is, as I say, from input. Kind of does an arpeggio. All right, and then you've got this random one, which is a little bit interesting. It just plays notes at random from the chord. And then, as I say, this one going up, Very, very useful. Very useful indeed, all of these different play modes. And then you've got this thing here that fixes the velocity to a fixed amount. You can change the pattern length as well. So for example, you could set this to, I don't know, 16, and you can add in some new things. And you can make some adjustments. You can make them a little bit narrower. You can customize these however much you want. So let's move that one that way. And let's see what that does. And of course, we've not filled out the rest of the pattern yet, but we could add to that. So if I just roll that back to 12. So there you go, folks. That's the Arpeggiator. It's a lot of fun, and especially if you put it into chord mode. And you can also change the octave range, so if you don't want it to go up like that extra octave that it's doing at the moment, you can just keep it in one octave. Now I'm getting a little bit exotic with the chords. But you get the idea. So you can adjust and customize these patterns to whatever you want. There's some that have got a bit more of a swing to them. Again, this note's just going to be too loud. And as I said, you can change the note values. So let's change this to just an eighth note with a good swing amount there. See, this one is particularly good for, like, if you're doing like a bossa nova and you wanted a nice acoustic guitar kind of thing. That would be a good kind of faked strumming pattern if that's what you wanted. Alright, so we will leave it there, folks. Check out the Arpeggiator. It's lots and lots of fun. And in the next video, we'll take a look at this guy, the chorder. Chorder is very, very powerful, very, very useful for a wide variety of applications. Alright, folks, see you in the next video. Bye for now.